Welcome, welcome. Thank you everyone for joining us on this live, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter/X. We thank you for being here today. So what we're going to welcome again to take Teaching Tuesday. And we're excited to be here like we are every Tuesday to talk about what's going on within Chicago Public Schools, what's going on with LSC, and just everything that you need to know to make sure that our children are being taken care of the way that they should be in Chicago Public Schools. We're going to do a quick introduction. I can start. My name is Chinella. I am the LSC parent organizer here at Raise Your Hand. Happy as always to be with you guys today.
Sorry, that old mute button. Hi, I'm Kendra. I am the parent organizer for Illinois Raise Your Hand. Again, happy to be here as well.
And I'm Erica. And I'm also good. It's also good to be here as well.
Okay, and we're going to get right into it. Again, thank you for spending the hour with us. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. So right now, what is going on in LSC land is that everyone that has submitted their candidacy, all the schools should be going through their candidate forms. They are between March 11th and March 19th. And I have a slideshow for you guys somewhere around here. Thought it was ready. I'm sorry. Let's see. My bad. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay, thank you so much for your patience. Let me go ahead and present that for y'all. Okay, so right now we're doing the LSC candidate forums. They're supposed to be held between the 11th and the 19th. Your principal or someone from the school should have reached out to you to let you know when that day and time is. I've been hearing that some LSCs that are having their normal LSC meeting during this time frame are adding extra time before or after the meeting in order to have that candidate forum on the same day. So it's just like not too much going around. And then actually we do have Erica that attended her sister. So she's running. And so she attended her forum today. And if you would like to, would you let us know how that process was? I believe that it's your first candidate forum. It'll be mine as well. So just very curious as to what you experienced today.
Yeah, of course. It was a really good experience. Ours was right after the LSC meeting, so they did add an extra time today in the morning to kind of let all the candidates speak, let us know a little bit about yourself and why everyone was running. It was really good to hear kind of how everyone else became involved with LSC or what their connection was. There was even a young person running for community rep who was a student back at this elementary school 20 years ago or so. And now they're interested in being a community rep, and so they're running. And it was really good just to hear how everyone has been involved in the school, volunteered their time, or helps out in other ways, or has worked there for, or used to work there for many years, or who's a grandparent and now their grandchild goes to the school, and their children went to the school a long time ago. And it just felt very good to be there and kind of share your piece of your story, a little bit about yourself, and kind of letting people introduce you and seeing, okay, so this is kind of, and it felt kind of fun too, like, kind of, this is my little bit my competition. Um, Friendly competition, nothing serious or crazy, but it was really, really good. I really enjoyed that last part of the forum. And then we also kind of just decided the order of the ballot, kind of what your number would be as well at the end, um, which was not as exciting, but still was a good experience.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. I did have a quick question. So did were all of your parents and candidate slots filled, or do you guys still have openings?
So right now we only have two parent reps, and then we have seven who are running. Um, so
Wonderful.
yeah, so there'll be one person who won't be able to be on the LSC, but that's kind of why
Yeah,
I said it's a little bit competition. But
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, cool. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
I got a
Um,
question,
yes.
Erica. When you said about the the order of, I guess, the order of how they go on the ballot, how do
mhm.
they pick that? How did they pick that?
So they put all of our names in a bag, and then they just pulled us randomly out, and
Okay,
kind of decided our number on the ballot.
cool.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Mhm.
So again, guys, if you have not been notified of when your candidate forum will take place, please do reach out to the administration at your school so that you can, make sure that you have that day and time set up. And with that being said, for those of you who may be new to this or have questions, I do have virtual office hours set up. So later today from 3 to 5, I'll be online. You can always go to our website to sign up to receive the link. And you can drop in at any point that you like if you have any questions, if you need help with just if you're new to it, if you're new to this as a whole, and just bring all your questions. But if you hadn't completed a what is it, a candidate statement, or you're trying to come up with things that you would like to say or mention during the forum, please be sure to drop in. I'll also be online Thursday between 12 and 2, and then Friday between 1 and 3. And just here to help with all of your LSC candidate support questions and needs. And then also, in addition to that, you guys that did sign up to be election judges, you should be receiving your email. So the email does look like this. You should see it on your screen. You should have received your email to let you know that they have training coming up. The training is required for you to act as an election judge. They are paying $275 per day. You may have the possibility to act as a judge during the high school and the elementary school elections. So that would be 2 days, and that would be $275 each of those days. The trainings do need to be completed again before you to serve as a judge. Some of you guys should also have received your letters letting you know what school you are assigned at, and then some of you may have received letters stating that you don't have an assignment yet. This year, they did receive an overwhelming amount of applications. So there are individuals that are not placed yet, but I encourage you to still take that training regardless. We know that sometimes people overbook themselves, or something may come up and they're no longer able to serve, and they'll reach out to that pool of individuals that have not been placed to try and get them into one of those spots. And so they have several more coming up. Let's see, it's the 12th. So they have a few at Prosser High School tomorrow on the 13th. They have two at Diet on the 14th. And then they have a few times at Curie High School. And again, in order to act as an election judge, you do have to take those trainings. So there you see the LSC relations email and phone number is at the bottom of this flyer. If you have any questions, the QR code is up there for you to register to take the trainings. What else is going on in LSC world? So it is now time for the, give me 1 second. So LSCs are now preparing for their annual budget approval process. It's usually the budget approval process is usually looking to be done like the first or second week in May. And then along with that, schools should be preparing to host their annual CIWP meetings. And so with that, you want to make sure that you are noted of the time and date that those meetings are taking place. But again, the role of the, oh, let me back up real quick. Can one of y'all help me? I am horrible with acronyms. What does CIWP stand for?
Continuous improvement work plan.
Thank you so much. I always these acronyms kill me. So the purpose of the CIWP is to ensure that basically that the that plan is aligning with the budget. What is it that the school what is it that the school needs? Where is this money going to? Monitor the implementation of the CIWP and the budget. You should be holding a public meeting to to present the proposed CIWP and the budget to the school. And the meeting must include an opportunity for public input and comments. Is there anything else that I'm missing in LSC world? I don't think so. I think that that is it. Um, I am going to go ahead then. Thank you guys for letting me share all of that LSC information with you. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Erica.
We did have the module trainings coming up. If you'd like to share those real quick.
I sure would. Thank you so much. I knew that I was missing a slide somewhere. Thanks for that. Give me one moment. So we do have LSC modules trainings coming up. And so actually they're starting this week. The first one is going to be over Zoom, and it is going to be for the LSC roles and responsibilities, and then also the effective LSC meetings. Again, you can go to our website to sign up for these meetings. The next couple of ones that we have after that will be in person. So we will have them at the Chicago Bee Library on the 16th. There is free parking. We'll also have refreshments. It's from 10:30 to 12:30. And then on the 20th, we'll be doing the module 4, which is the budget, and then 7 eternal accounts. And we'll be at Inglewood Library from 5:30 to 7:30. And again, plenty of free parking for you guys. And we'll also be sure to have some refreshments for you for coming out.
Where's Inglewood Library?
Inglewood Library is 1745 West 63rd Street. Thank you so much for that reminder, Erica. I'll go ahead and turn it over to you now.
So I wanted to cover a little bit about what's going on at the state level in terms of public education funding. If you all haven't heard, Governor Pritzker had, gave his state address, basically his official budget address for the year, and in that was funding for public education. There's an allocated amount that's recommended by the Illinois State Board of Education every year, and then Governor Pritzker either decides to approve that recommendation or the previous year he added a little bit more than what was recommended, but this year he did keep it pretty similar to what previous years have looked like. There's this really big, complex formula that's called evidence-based funding, and it's up to the state to continuously invest in that to ensure that every well, public school districts that need it the most are being given equitable funding. So that's their funding is dependent on, you know, what is their needs, what do their needs look like in each district. It takes into account how many low income students that you have, how many ESL students do you have, what is the poverty rate index in the community. It takes into account all these various different factors in order to ensure that every public district is getting what they need versus having like this set same amount everyone kind of puts in this certain amount and then you get this certain amount back. So it's really trying to put this equity lens on public education funding. So the only issue with that is that EBF, or evidence-based funding, we'll call it EBF for short, isn't getting enough investment in it every year. It's kind of getting the same amount, which is 350 million. I know that sounds like a lot of money right off the bat, but because of how disinvested public school districts have been for many, many years, decades even, EBF requires a lot more money to be able to pump out the amount that each public school district needs, especially those lower income, higher needs public school districts. And so Raise Your Hand is part of this coalition called Partnerships for Equity and Education Rights, and we work on, really centering parents and students and their experiences with what's happening in their school districts locally and connecting that to kind of bringing that to state representatives who pretty much manage and dictate and decide where they want to invest, right? Um, as of right now, there's really not a high interest from state representatives to add more money to public education for various reasons. But we know that's really important that schools receive the necessary funds to be able to hire more teachers, right? We always hear that there aren't enough staff, there aren't enough teachers in these classrooms, right? One teacher cannot manage an entire classroom of like 30 or less students, or even sometimes more, especially in CPS, we're seeing the arrival of a lot of students. I know at my daughter's school, we get students every week. Since last year, we've been getting a really large amount of students, and there's just, it's becoming very overwhelming for a few teachers to be able to manage everything. And just imagining what we can do with adequate funding, and we're, being able to give our students the resources that they need to be able to thrive in their education. And a lot of times that does look like having more people on deck, having more personnel, having more staff and teachers who can do more of that one-on-one work with students. It's pretty difficult to imagine one teacher to be able to manage all that. And we've also led a few workshops around EBF, kind of informing parents about what it is, what it's meant to do, and why there needs to be, like the first step of implementing it was very good, but it's the investment that's lacking, right? We actually need funding to go into EBF, and it needs to be increased every year in order for it to really do what it was meant to do, which is to ensure that students who really need more resources and access are actually getting that at the local level. And so we do have social media that you can follow us on. We do have, if you want to request a workshop where you'd like to learn more about EBF, how to get involved with our campaign and how to share your story with state representatives, because in their minds, it definitely looks like EBF is working and is doing what it needs to do, but obviously there needs to be more funding and more oversight over how that funding is being used. We will drop a few links in the chat on how to get more involved and why it's important to share your story too, and why or what you could do with more money for your school.
Erica, what's EBF?
Evidence-based funding.
Okay.
That's the formula. It's like this big formula. It's how the state decides how much funding each public district gets. And that takes into account so many different things, like how many low-income students do you have in your district? How many disabled students do you have in your district? How many students who are ESL are in your district? And even things like your poverty rate index in your community. But it's maybe just trying to create more equity in public education. But in order to do that, it needs more money put into it. So it's schools are still relying a lot on heavy property taxes, and that's really hitting lower income communities. They're already kind of struggling with having to pay high property taxes, and it's kind of where the state kind of needs to step in and do their part in funding public education.
Cool. So, um, I'm here just to talk a little bit about this elected school board. Tonight we have a Zoom to discuss, the particulars, to be in the community, to let people know what's going on with this board, right? And this is something that is new to us, and I really, really want parents to know the importance of it. That this is something that is very much so needed. It's very important to me. It's very important to raise your hand, and with the um, with the Illinois House like passing this bill last week, it sparked a lot of conversations. It definitely sparked some conversations in our office. a lot of a lot of mixed feelings, a lot of just it's important, and I can't really, I'm fumbling because I can't think of the words to express the importance of it. So I hope that you all have registered to tune in with us this evening to discuss this. We need everybody in the community. We need everybody in Chicago to, this is the first elected school board ever. This is something that, hey, we need to be involved in. We want all parents on deck. We want all communities on deck. We want people to know your rights in this. We want people to know what's important. We want you all to know. We want to hear. That's the main thing. We want to hear, what the community is thinking about this. I got a lot of thoughts. Like I said, I'm so fumbled with my words right now because it's so many questions that are being that I have, that even with being so closely involved with it, I still, it's a lot that I need to learn, and I know that there's other people that's feeling the same way as I do. So yeah, tonight we will have a big old discussion about this, and I hope that you all are here and ready to join us to have this conversation about our elective school board comment. If you are not registered, we can drop the link. Did we drop the link?
I got you. I'll just link for you.
Okay. And yeah, like, we can, I mean, I'm sure, like, with it going on, I don't know, for some reason, this topic is making me nervous. And I don't know why. Every time it comes up, it seems like it's so much, and it seems like a lot, but it's very important, a very important topic. Yeah. So I think Chanetta dropped the link for you all to register if you're not already registered to join us in this community conversation tonight at 6 p.m. So we'll be on for about an hour and a half, and all are welcome.
And then I think that I want to follow up and talk about because I get that nervousness too, and I think that it's because of what's at stake. I think that that's where, well, for me, that's where the nervousness comes from when I'm speaking on the elected school boards. This is a chance for the people that should be in power to take those seats and push for real change, push for the things that we know that our schools deserve and need. And then also for me, the nervousness comes from how things are still up in the air. I am a person that keeps going back and forth with whether I want to run or not. And one of the main reasons I go back and forth with it is because um, right now, as it stands, I would need 1,000 signatures um, to be able to be on the ballot. And I just feel like for everyday working people, um, that's tough. And I spoke about it last week. If we're saying that we need 1,000, to actually qualify, then you probably need 3,000 signatures just to be sure, because when they start checking to make sure that the signatures are valid, they're in the district that you're in and things like that, a large number of those signatures that you received could drop off. So just thinking about the manpower that it takes to run a campaign, the money that it takes to run a campaign, it like, while we're very excited that we're getting closer to the things that we want, it's still a lot of roadblocks in the way. um I work a regular job. I actually work two jobs. So when am I going to honestly have the time to be able to get out and connect with people in my district, to let them know why I'm running, what I'm about, the things that I would like to do, and make sure that I get those signatures? I think that it's tough. And then there's also somebody explained it to me, and I think that it's the question I ask every single time, and every time someone explains it differently, I get it, but I just still don't feel like it makes sense. But it's with the way that the districts are broken up. And so I'm in District 10, I believe, but there's a A and B, so they're broken up. And if I win an A, then the mayor, they'll appoint whoever should be in District B. And I feel like that's just like all a game too, because who are you appointing? Where's this pool? Are you gonna, yeah.
So you elect one in a district and then appoint another in a district.
Yes, and that's just for this upcoming election. That's just for this upcoming election. I forget how it's going to work for the following election, but we'll cross that when we get to it. So yeah, one person will be appointed, one person will be elected. I'm still very confused about where this pool of the appointed individuals are coming from. Are they going to be individuals that did run, or can they just say, well, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and appoint Kendra, even though she ain't even throw her head in the running, but she in this district, and that's who I want. So I just, so it's just like, I think that that's where our nervousness comes from. And I think that that's why it's important for parents and community members, stakeholders, to get together and go over what has already been proposed, what changes they're looking to make, so that we can get a full understanding. Because again, I really feel like that there should be parents and community members that have been in this fight. I'm very new to this, maybe the last maybe 3 or 4 years, but there are people that have been fighting for this for at least a decade, that we heard when we listened to the board meeting. I don't know if y'all remember that one lady said, I just want y'all to, before she even started what she wanted to say, I drove 3 hours to get here. I drove 3 hours to Springfield because my voice needs to be heard. And so people that have been fighting for this for so long are the people that need to be put in these positions. And I'm just really worried that um, the way that this thing is being strung along and decisions have not been solidified. And we're May, I told y'all before, I like to round up. So now we for real at May 15th. And, is we gonna need to start campaigning, like how are we gonna get all this done? So that's my high horse. Thanks for letting me share that. But just wanted to reiterate, Kendra, I definitely get where that nervousness when speaking about this comes from.
I'm still confused. And it's sad that I'm confused on this with the appointed. So where do the ones that's sitting on the board now go? They just go away?
Away.
Okay. Okay. I mean, none of it's making sense to me right now, and I don't think that that's by accident. That it's not. That is not. It's almost like they trying to confuse us, confused, discouraged. Like that's the take that I'm having on it. And it's every time that the conversation come up, I leave with more questions. That's why I'm hoping tonight at this. I guess it's like a virtual round table, a big old round table, that it kind of makes some sense for us that's just really not getting it. Erica, you was going to say something, Erica?
Yeah, I like to blame the nervousness on how drawn out the entire process has been. Right, they've had, I believe, at least 3 years to kind of figure out the map, to figure out these ethical guidelines that you all are bringing up for, who is able to run, what are the boundaries and the ethics that you all have to follow or that we all have to follow. It's not very clear either, like about the appointees, whether, the mayor is going to reappoint the people who are currently on the board or appoint new members, right? Like I wouldn't be surprised at this point if the state came up with some I don't know, rules about, you can't reappoint the same board members. They have to be somebody else, right? Or I don't know if that's ever been a thing, but right, just and then I think and seeing how quickly they're moving on like certain things, like with the SRO decision, like they moved on that pretty quickly when the bill, right, creating a bill that opposed the board's decision. But when it came to trying to figure out ERSB and trying to figure out just if we had, if people had gotten notice, how many signatures they needed before, if much sooner, we would have all had more time for those of us who are interested in running to figure that out, to get that done. Now we only have like 2 months, a month and a half to really, or 2 months and a half to kind of get all these signatures. And you might even need more than the 1,000 because you have to make sure that everyone who signed is even in your district and is able to vote for you. And that's tricky. That takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of people power to go out there and canvass. So this entire process has been really disappointing and really has meant to diffuse people's motivation to run and to, kind of make them feel like it feels impossible to kind of get up to this point, right? It doesn't feel like it's meant for everyday parents or everyday community members to run, especially because the position is also unpaid. A lot of elected positions are paid, and it just so happens that these are what parents, from lower income districts are going to be able to really run and be able to take up their time to be able to sit on these seats and do it well. A lot of that will have to require some sacrifice, and will take a lot of community support, right? It takes a lot of leaning on people who support you, people who are willing to come on and canvas for you, and who are willing to support you with resources when you need them. So this, just like this entire process, it's not fair to everyday people. And that's the part that I think a lot of us are really afraid of. Where I am, I won't speak for everyone, right? Is how these big corporations are going to come in, people backed by millions of dollars who don't have the best intentions, don't have our children in mind, especially lower income, BIPOC students. Like that's not right. They want to turn CPS into like this private entity, and a lot of us are fighting to keep that public, to really keep that access to a public good open. And so those are my 2 cents.
I just wanted to I just wanted to mention that we're speaking a lot about the people that have been doing this work for, like I say, over a decade, and so I am confident, even though I am playing no role in this, Kendra. I'm confident that you're going to get the answers that you are looking for tonight. One of the individuals that is speaking, he is, one of the people that started this work to fight for the elected representative school board. And so I know that he's going to get us started with why the community has been in this fight for over a decade, why it matters, why it's important, and why we need to keep fighting to make sure that this goes the way that we want to. So yeah, I'm definitely excited for tonight. Um, I'll let Kendra pump it up one more time.
I know some bangles like, "Yay," or make some noise. Yes, please, please, please join us tonight, 6 p.m. for the Raise Your Hand ERSB community space. We need you all in the place. We need y'all in this space. We need y'all. We need to hear, your thoughts. We need to hear if you got some facts that we might not know. Like we need to hear these things, and just to take, the edge off for the parents, for the community that's thinking about running. We need people that look like us to represent for the children that look like us. And that's the my major concern. We, like Erica said, we don't want these people from these big corporations with our best interests not at heart. We don't want these decisions in their hands. Yeah, we just don't want to give them, that we've given enough. We have let enough slide. We have let things slide over the years. We have accepted the bare minimum for our kids, and it's not fair. It's not fair. And I'm so over that. I'm ready for a change. I know I'm a mom. I got a whole bunch of kids. That mean I got a whole bunch of grandkids coming. I'm already a grandma, and we just need to. I mean, it's the truth. I got one that's already in school, and like I still have, still have two that's in this. I have one coming out this year, but I also have two that's not even in high school yet, and I got a grandson in elementary school, and I just want to see a change. At least by the time he reach, that level, like I want to see something different. So I'm hoping that this elected school board can make that positive change that we need in CPS schools. That's what I'm really, really, really wishing for. Yep. I'm almost finna cry.
That was so powerful. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's I don't have grandchildren yet, but yeah, like I
No.
definitely, like, we have to make sure that we are doing these things so that we can leave behind something better than what we're used to. I'm a product of CPS K through 12. And I think about just like it's so many things that have changed, but it's so many things that are the same from when I was in elementary school and high school. Like, and that's it. It's just not right. We do have a question in the comments. I'm going to post it up here. But Erica, did you want to take that one?
Um, I think this was in reference to the last comment I made, and then probably the one Kendra made too afterwards. Um, I mainly meant how past appointed leadership really wanted to turn CPS into more of a private institution, meaning run it as a private company, you know, with the school closures, with wanting to disinvest slowly in public neighborhood schools, and that eventually led to closures. And just the different ways, like that, even dating back to ROM, how a lot of different policies really wanted to turn this into some sort of mini company, right? So there wouldn't be a lot of oversight. It would be a lot harder to kind of be responsive to the public. Also, having a private school would mean, or being a private entity means you don't have to follow a lot of like the policies that public institutions are usually obligated by law. So that's kind of more in reference in what we mean. You know, there's a saying, keep the public and public schools public, meaning like keeping it accessible for everyone, right? Like public schools are meant to be for every single student. They're meant to support every single student. And well, we fight for many ways to keep that true, right? Down from funding to resources to ensuring that there's enough staff in schools and that students are being supported in holistic and healthier ways and safer ways. Did you all want to add something to that question?
I think you said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you said it. Thank you for that. Um, I hope that that did answer your question. Is there anything else that we want to highlight and mention before I close?
Tonight, join us at 6 p.m. for Raise Your Hand, ERSD community space. Please register at our Bitly. It's dropped in the chat. Also, pick it up on Facebook and X. Um, join us. Yep, that's what I get. Please join us tonight.
Thank you so much for that. Kendra, did you want to say any? I mean, I'm so sorry. Erica, did you want to say anything before I close?
Um, I have nothing else to add, but thank you all for joining us today and see you all tonight.
Thank you so
Join
much.
us.
I agree. I can't wait to see y'all tonight. We dropped the chat. We dropped the link. Please sign up. It's going to be a powerful discussion. And you know, we just need to keep in mind that we can't just sit back. If you want change to be made, you got to get up and you know roll up your sleeves and do it yourself. So thank you again for spending this hour with us on your Tuesday. We appreciate you. We hope you took something from this. We can't wait to see you this evening. And I did want to close. I want to close with a quote, if you guys don't mind. But it was something that Malcolm X said, and so it's just kept coming in my mind while we were talking today. But he said, education is an important element in the struggle for human rights. It is the means to help our children and our people rediscover their identity and thereby increase their self-respect. Education is our passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs only to the people who prepare for it today. So we'll see y'all tonight as we are preparing for our children's future. Can't wait to see y'all. And don't forget to follow us, like us. Go ahead and go to our page to see the other events that we have coming up in the next couple of weeks. And I'll see you guys soon. Have a good one.